When Judge Alana Reeves steps into court, she thinks it's just another case, until the defendant walks in. Her heart stops. It's not just any man on trial. It's her childhood best friend, the boy she once whispered dreams with under summer stars. Now he's facing serious charges, and she holds the gavel that could decide his fate. What happens next will challenge everything she believes about justice, loyalty, and the past. And by the time the final verdict is read, you won't believe what she chooses to do. Stay with us, because this story will shock you, move you, and stay with you long after the screen fades to black. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as Judge Alana Reeves took her seat at the bench. She'd seen thousands of faces pass through this very courtroom, criminals, victims, jurors, and lawyers. But today felt different, although she couldn't quite place why. The bailiff's voice echoed across the room. Case number 20,485. The State of Georgia versus. Marcus King. Alana stiffened. Marcus King? The name tugged at something deep in her memory. A ripple of discomfort swept through her as the courtroom doors opened, and the defendant was led in, hands cuffed, dressed in the orange uniform of the county jail. Her breath caught. It was him. The boy from the summers of her youth, the one she'd shared comic books with under the willow tree, skipped rocks with by the creek, and whispered dreams to long after sunset. Marcus Elijah King. Her best friend. Her secret. Her first kiss. Now a man, his dreadlocks streaked with gray, face hardened by time and struggle, he was barely recognizable, except for the eyes. Those deep, intelligent eyes. Still the same. Marcus glanced up, their eyes locked. A flicker of recognition. Then shock. Then nothing. He looked away. Alana gripped the sides of her bench. She was a judge. His judge. She looked down at the file. Charges: aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, and attempted robbery. Her stomach sank. The court clerk turned to her. Your Honor, shall we proceed? Alana cleared her throat. Yes, she said firmly, though her voice cracked slightly. Let the record show we are in session. As the prosecution began their opening statements, Alana could barely hear the words. Her mind was spinning with memories, riding bikes through rainstorms, sneaking into old barns, swearing to always protect each other from the world. She had promised. So had he. But life had other plans. Her father's transfer to another city had torn them apart at 14. She never saw Marcus again. Her letters went unanswered. She had no idea what became of him, until now. She took a deep breath and leaned forward. Whatever happened next, she would have to walk a fine line between justice and humanity. But one thing was already clear. This was not just another case. The trial moved forward with a slow, methodical rhythm. The prosecutor, a seasoned man named Brent Wallace, painted Marcus as a career criminal, violent, angry, and dangerous. But Alana knew something was off. The state's main witness was a store clerk who claimed Marcus had pointed a gun at him during a botched robbery attempt. But under cross-examination by the defense attorney, a sharp, no-nonsense black woman named Deja Clark, cracks appeared in the story. Did you see his face clearly? Deja asked. The clerk hesitated. Well, it was dark. I think it was him, Deja pounced. You think, or you know? I think. Alana watched Marcus closely. He sat with his head bowed, jaw clenched. Not the defiance of a guilty man, but the exhaustion of someone who had been fighting for far too long. During recess, Alana retreated to her chambers. Her assistant, Jordan, followed with coffee. Something wrong, Judge Reeves? Alana hesitated. Do you believe people can really change, Jordan? He shrugged. Sometimes. Depends on what they've been through. Alana stared out the window, haunted. Marcus hadn't looked angry. He had looked tired. Back in court, Deja called a surprise witness. Marcus's neighbor, a retired nurse named Miss Lottie. She testified that on the night of the alleged robbery, Marcus was in her apartment, fixing her leaky sink. He didn't leave until after 10:30, she said firmly. I know. Because we watched Jeopardy after. Like we always do, the robbery took place at 9:45. Wallace questioned her memory, but Miss Lottie held her ground. Son, I may be old, but I remember what time Alex Trebek came on my TV. The gallery chuckled. Even Alana smiled. But Wallace wasn't done. He revealed a prior weapons charge from Marcus's past, something from over a decade ago. The tension in the room thickened. Marcus requested to testify in his own defense. Deja warned him, but he insisted. Taking the stand, he looked straight at the jury. I'm not perfect, he began, but I didn't do this. That night, I was helping a neighbor. You can choose to believe my past, or believe the facts. But I'm not the man they're trying to make me out to be. He glanced at Alana. Just for a second. She looked away. The closing arguments were emotional. Brent Wallace emphasized Marcus's prior record and claimed Miss Lottie could have been mistaken. Deja reminded the jury that the only evidence was circumstantial, and that doubt, not certainty, defined guilt in the eyes of the law. Alana listened in silence, hands folded, her face calm but her insides in turmoil. She was not supposed to let personal history influence her judgment. But what if that history was the only honest glimpse she had into the truth? When the jury was dismissed for deliberation, the courtroom emptied. Alana remained on the bench, staring at her nameplate. Marcus King had once told her, as children, "You're gonna change the world, Lana. Just don't let the world change you first." How far had she drifted from that promise? The jury returned 4 hours later. The room was packed. Everyone held their breath. The foreperson stood. In the matter of the state of Georgia versus Marcus King, we find the defendant. A long pause. Not guilty. Gasps filled the courtroom. Marcus sat frozen. Alana banged the gavel. Order. Court is adjourned. Marcus was uncuffed. He stood slowly, dazed. As people rose and whispered, Alana watched him. She couldn't leave. Not yet. And then Marcus looked up at her and smiled, just a little. That smile, the one from when they were 12, pretending to be superheroes in the woods behind her house. He walked to the exit, but then stopped and turned back. The courtroom was nearly empty when Marcus approached the bench. Alana stepped down slowly, her robe swaying as she met him halfway. He spoke first. You remembered, didn't you? She nodded. I did. From the moment I saw your name. Why didn't you say anything? I couldn't, she replied. Ethics, protocol. If I had, the trial might have been thrown out. It would have hurt you. He nodded slowly, processing. You never wrote back. I did, she whispered. I wrote every week. For months, you never answered. He frowned. I never got any letters. My uncle. He didn't want me talking to those people. I thought you forgot me. Alana felt her heart break a little more. I never forgot. I just didn't know where to find you. There was a long pause. You did good today, he said. You did better, she replied. They stood in silence. I've been angry for a long time, Lana, he said. At the system, at life, at people who didn't stand up. But seeing you there, not flinching, not playing favorites, just being fair, that helped. I wanted to say more. I wanted to reach out. But I couldn't risk your freedom. You already gave me what I needed, he said. A fair trial. A real chance, she nodded. You deserved that. And more, Marcus offered his hand. She took it. Be well, Marcus. You too, Lana. He turned and walked away, through the courtroom doors, into the sunlight. And as he disappeared into the world again, Alana stood quietly, her heart full of memories, sorrow, and a spark of hope. Justice had been served. But more importantly, a wound that had lingered for decades had finally begun to heal.